what's up? Welcome to the franchise. You're jacked in. Coming off our worst episode ever, according to regular listener P. Dot. We're doing Scary Movies 4 and 5. It's the second to last week of Spoof Month. You might think we're doing Haunted House next week, the Wayans Brothers horror follow-up, but we're stupid and we didn't think of that. So instead, we're doing Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2 because we covered Top Gun recently. All right. Let me bring in my co-host, Logan. Be a scare.
Ooh. Last week might have been bad, but Cam Newton's Law says this week will be a good one. Don't even worry about it.
I couldn't believe we got Mac Miller and Snoop Dogg discussing Obamacare and Cam Newton this week. As if this movie wasn't 2013 enough.
Yeah, it's actually very 2010. There's a moment where Black Swan is looking at a photo of 127 hours, and it felt a little odd.
Yeah, that's true. They were a little but they had like 7 years between movies, so they were a little late. They were like, "Oh, so much great stuff happened in pop culture. We gotta cover it all."
Daniel,
yeah,
I have a surprise for you at the end of this episode.
Oh my god!
I'm going to pitch Scary Movie 6.
I think they should do Scream 6. Is that your pitch?
Well, that was my pitch, but they're. I mean, originally, but I said they're already going to come out with Scream 6 or Scream 7 by the time Scary Movie 6 would come out, so that doesn't even matter.
So just do the new Scream movies. Do it with like what do they call themselves? That fucking insipid name they give themselves.
Radio Silence.
No, not that.
Oh,
I was thinking of the name the Core 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have something better. This is with all the new horror movies that have come out between 2013 and now.
Wow, I'm looking forward to this.
I feel like you're not, but you actually should.
No, I kind of am.
Because I actually put like...
I wasn't being an asshole. I'm kind of thinking about it now, and it's a good idea. I wish I thought of it.
Yeah, well, I'm a genius. Just kidding.
All right. Scary...
Excited, though. That's a big episode.
We'll see. P-Dot, you let us know if we fuck it up again. Alright. Scary Movies 4 and 5. 4 came right on the heels of 3, right? When did 3 come out?
Jeez. 2006? 7?
That's 4. No, you're completely up.
2003.
2003 is when Scary Movie 3 comes out. They give it the magical 3-year window for the first time ever. So you're like, this one's going to be a classic.
Well, it's more 2.5 years, but yeah.
Leave me alone. I mean, you're right.
Calendar years.
Yeah. So they got David Zucker back, 1/3 of Zaz. But you know what? They brought in a 2/3 of Zaz for this one. Because Jim Abrahams has a writing credit. How about that?
Yeah.
And also Craig Mazin and Pat Proft. I think they worked on the last one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, right, because that dude ended up writing Chernobyl.
The Last of Us. Yeah.
And The Last of Us, yeah. All right. So this film, if you could call it that, came out April 14th, 2006. They moved it. Previously,
that just happened 4 days ago, by the way.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's the day after my mom's birthday.
What is that? The 17-year anniversary
of Scary Movie 4?
I really do mix up Scream and Scary Movie when we talk about them like this so much.
Because you think of Scary Movie as being part of the Scream franchise.
I can't lie. That part of me does.
I can tell.
The really stupid part of me does.
All right, so they keep moving these bad boys around. The first 2 came out in summer. The third one they put out in October because it's spooky. And now they're releasing them in April.
Can I give you a take right off the bat?
Hit me.
I think Scary Movie 4 is the spookiest scary movie. What do you think? What do you think?
It could be, and that's interesting, Logan, considering it's the only scary movie that doesn't parody a horror film.
What are you talking about?
The whole
Grudge. That's the spooky parts I'm talking about.
All right, but most of the movies, War of the Worlds.
Yeah, but and the Village. But I feel like the Grudge parts they sort of direct and handle pretty spookily. You know what I'm saying?
I like the part when when Anna Faris says hello to the ghost and then corrects herself to say hello.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That honestly made me laugh. I'm not a good person.
Can I tell you something? Again? Yeah. This one's better than I remembered.
This one, I gotta say, I've got my rankings here.
Yeah.
It's number 2.
Oh my god, Detroit, I think we feel the same way about these scary movies.
Yeah, alright. This was not the nadir of the franchise, but we'll get there today. April 14th, 06 was the release date. It had a $40 million budget, as all of these movies except the last one did. And big hit. These movies make money, man. $178.3 million at the box office. Number 20 for the year. Made slightly less than Dreamgirls, which was like huge. And slightly more than Failure to Launch, which maybe I should see. That's a Matthew McConaughey, Sarah Jessica Parker movie, isn't it?
Really? I thought that was another one of those Kate Hudson ones.
Maybe it is.
I thought she did Fool's Gold and then that one with him.
No, How to Lose a Guy in 10.
Yeah, that's How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Who is this? Maybe you're right.
I think it's Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew McConaughey, and I think Zooey Deschanel plays one of their best friends, probably the girl.
Okay, well, you can't be the guy's best friend.
Yeah, guys don't have female best friends. That would be crazy.
Not that look like Zooey Deschanel anyway.
That's fair. Yeah, you'd have to end up with her like Nick
Jake
from
Johnson.
New Girl.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
By the way, I never finished. Remember when I was watching New Girl?
Oh yeah, you never finished it.
Never finished. I was listening.
It's good.
I did because I was listening to a podcast, and then I just completely fell off the podcast. Like they stopped posting for 2 weeks or something, and then I just never got back on it.
Well, I'm sure the show's better than that podcast.
Yeah, maybe I could just bang out the show.
Yeah. It kind of falters a little in season 5, but then they get it back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right. So this movie was nominated for some awards, Logan.
Yeah, which ones?
The Golden Raspberries.
It's the raspberries, no razzmatazz. Well, all we're lacking is a little pizzazz, 'cause it's the golden raspberries. It's the worst of the worst, not the best of the best. It's pizzazz gone raz.
Oh, it's too bad. Is this the first one? Why is this one of all the bunch nominated?
I know, it's ridiculous. Yeah. I have a bone to pick with these raspberries. Got some berries to pick. All right. Carmen Electra. She was nominated for she actually won for Worst Supporting Actress for this and Date movie. Now, I sort of get it. She is not a high point of this movie. We're going to say a couple of nice things about this movie, but one of them will not be about the part where Carmen Electra shits in a box in the middle of a church.
She's blind. That's the joke.
Yeah, I guess I'm not in my house, huh?
She's great in the first one, not so good in this one.
It's gross. There's too much gross stuff in these movies.
I know.
Like, what was the thing in this movie with the piss? With Cloris Leachman. And she starts, like, washing her, like, by dipping the sponge in her... What's the thing you piss in?
Tray, some tray.
you know the thing.
It's called like a tray, some kind.
No, it's not.
It's called like a pea tray. I don't know.
No. I'm gonna Google this right now. What do old?
Hey Siri, what are you peeing?
Well, we pee in the toilet.
Europeans are the first.
It looked up Europeans.
What do old people pee in? Damn it. What the fuck? Why isn't this coming up? What do sick people pee in? Bedpans! Thank you.
Oh.
All right.
I said tray. That's
she's dipping the sponge in the bedpan instead of her little bucket of water, and then she's just like bathing Cloris Leachman in her own piss. It's disgusting.
Yeah, can't defend
and it's
that
not
one.
funny. It's just disgusting.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Teen Choice.
It's the teen choice award.
This was nominated for Best Comedy at the Teen Choice Awards. All right. But it lost to, obviously, one of my favorite movies, Logan. She's the Man.
Oh, sports movie.
Oh, that is.
tuned.
Patreon.com/the franchise. You might be seeing a list of sports movies at some point. All right. And that would count. That is soccer film
Absolutely.
or football as
Tate.
our friends overseas call it. Yeah, the Tate. The Tate is a great footballer. Okay. All right. I mean that's it for the stats. Let's get into the great film. Anna Faris, she turned it down at first, Logan, and then they offered her $1 million. And she was like, well, I can't turn that down. That's the biggest paycheck I've ever gotten.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, this is post Just Friends, right?
Why do
This
you,
is, I think,
do you
one of the-
think of that as like a breakout hit for her?
I'm gonna tell you something, D-Train. You like make fun of me a lot, but like the way I see movies in my life is the way that I watched movies in my life. All right, and the way I watched movies was I saw Scary Movie and I saw Just Friends, and I was like, oh, this is the girl from Scary Movie, and she's great in this also. So yeah, I do think of that as a breakout role for her.
To
All
me, here's the thing. It was she did the Scary Movies, so she was that for a second. Then, right around the same time, she did Lost in Translation and Friends. She did an arc on Friends. That, like, raised her status a little bit. Then she did Brokeback Mountain. Now she's a legit actress. And then they put her in House Bunny, and that was her breakout. That's how I see Anna Faris's career. The thing about Just Friends... The thing about Just Friends is, even though you saw it, Logan... No one liked that movie, and it didn't make any money.
Do you like that movie?
No.
Oh, when's the last time you saw it?
When it came out.
Oh, I haven't seen it in a long time either, but I remember liking it. Like his brother is the guy from a movie that I like called The Invisible. Oh, he's the guy from Barry, the friend that he shoots in the car. Spoiler alert for
hey,
season 2 of Barry.
Yeah.
But the mom is from Airplane, right?
Julie Hagerty?
Right. She's very incredible in
remember.
that movie. She's so funny in that movie.
Honestly, the only thing I remember about that
Klein?
movie is Anna Faris, because she was the best part.
Yeah, I really like that movie. Well, let me know your thoughts, everybody, on Just Friends.
There are people that like that movie. I remember
I hope
I used to be a listener of a podcast called Doug Loves Movies by Doug Benson, and he used to say he liked that movie. Anytime he had an actor from that movie on, he would mention it.
Good. Thanks, Doug. Anytime he had Amy Smart on, he was like, hey, you're great in... Is that
I literally think that happened, yes.
Wow, I can't believe I got her name right.
Yeah. You talk about Logan Smart, am I right?
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But yeah, but the other one was The House Bunny. That was like the third one I saw her in after these. And
that was big. You watch The House Bunny, you're like, oh, she's a star.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah. I'm not
Same with
joking.
Emma Stone, though.
No, I don't think... Stone, you watch
She's really
EZA, and you're like, oh, she's a star.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta try him out as the lead. You know, like I saw Superbad, and if you ask me, like, which of these two girls they're trying to bang is gonna be a huge star,
Oh, that other one's so
I'm not
good.
sure I'd be able to answer the question. I don't know if I
Good
would have
point.
answered properly.
That's a good point.
And she's gone on to do nothing.
Yeah, I remember last time I watched it, I looked her up.
Yeah, same
Because you
here.
have to after you watch that movie.
I always look her up, and the girl that McLovin bangs.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Oh. Well, they're both pretty good.
Yeah.
No, you're probably thinking of Goldschlick vodka girl. That whatever.
Oh, yeah, you're right, I think.
Yeah. All right. So this film, Scary Movie 4, I guess we'll get to it. It opens on a Saw parody. They're in that bathroom from the original Saw movie, and it's Shaquille O'Neal as himself. And Dr. Phil as himself. So an incredibly likable person and one of the shittiest people in the world, aka the inspiration for CBS's Bull.
Really, he is able to make jokes about himself, though. He's like, I'm a bullshit artist. I like tell them what they want to hear. You know, he makes jokes.
But it's true. maybe take a look at yourself and change based on what people are saying about you. Shaquille O'Neal can't
likes the
control
money.
that he's bad at free throws. All right, they make free throw jokes about
I like
Shaquille
that
O'Neal.
joke.
Well, it's always a fun joke because you're like, oh yeah, he is bad at free throws.
Yeah, he is really bad.
All right. So Dr. Phil ends up, he saws his foot off, but it's the wrong foot, Logan.
That's pretty good too.
You like that? I thought
kinda.
that joke was okay, actually. And then his legs turn into the number 4, and we get our title, Scary Movie 4.
Much better than the third one, which you didn't see.
Right, which I had explained to me twice.
Twice, yes.
Yeah.
This was my thought of huge improvement. And I think this is better than 5 also. I'd rank them 4, 5, 3.
5 was horrible.
Oh, you didn't see 3?
Oh, yeah, fair. It's about boobs, right?
Oh, it's horrible.
All right. So then we cut to Charlie Sheen. And I'm happy. I'm like, great. Machine is in this movie. And he's banging all 3 of those girls from that show, The Girls Next Door, because I guess that was popular at the time.
Okay.
You remember that?
No.
All right. These girls, Logan, were Hugh Hefner's girlfriends. He was dating all 3 of them at the same time. Kendra Wilkinson, Holly Madison, and the third one.
I know Kendra Wilkinson. She had a baby with a football player.
Yep. Well,
And she had a TV show, right?
prior to that baby, Logan, she was taking that Hugh Hefner dick when he was like 100 years old. And so that show, it was like an Osbournes or a Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where it was like sitcom-y but reality show. And it was like, isn't this funny? These 3 hot girls are boning that old rich guy. And then afterwards, like, all these stories came out and he was like molesting them and shit. All right. But what are you going to do? Charlie Sheen's banging him in this movie, and they're having a real nice time making jokes about themselves.
Can I ask you something? We sort of skipped over.
What? Go ahead.
What's the narration in this movie a rip on? Is that a rip on anything? Is there a War of the Worlds narration?
I think there's Morgan Freeman narration in War of the Worlds.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman narrates War of the Worlds.
I'm not 100% sure on this, but I feel like at the end of the movie, like, they're like, Morgan Freeman pops up and it's like, it's the germs. You know, they couldn't handle it.
Really?
Yeah.
You
You want me to check on that?
If you can, if you want to, but I'll take your word for it.
I'm going to Google I'm doing a lot of Googling today. War of the Worlds narration. Morgan Freeman came right up.
Wow. Yeah. So who does the narration for this? Is it actual Morgan Freeman?
I think it's just a sound-alike.
Did sound like him.
Yeah, it did, honestly. I think these movies kind of do a good job of finding people that sound like people. I think
look like. Remember Michael Jackson? Always looks.
Oh
like him.
yeah,
Looks
that
just
was great.
like him.
The Tom Cruise
Sounds
guy
just like
in Scary Movie 5, I thought was really good.
Really?
Yeah.
You gotta wait until.
No, not
five
Tom
minutes.
Cruise. I'm sorry. The Leonardo DiCaprio. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. I assume you did research. I assume that's like an impersonator or something. I assumed he was like a Michael Jackson, same thing. But
No, I think he's just like a comedy guy.
oh, really, I thought he did a great job.
He did. He sounds exactly like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So the main bit of Scary Movie 4 is War of the Worlds. They start setting that up. I knew it immediately. I didn't know what this movie was about. And then the second you see Craig Bierko in that sort of hoodie and vest ensemble.
It's an iconic look.
Yeah, like sitting in that like truck or whatever. Crane.
Like a crane, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, it's War of the Worlds. I got it.
Yeah. Well, also, I told you a week ago.
I didn't remember.
Yeah, you don't listen to me.
Shut up, man. I mention shit to you constantly that you forget.
Is that true?
It is true.
I pretend like I forget so you can repeat it for the audience. So because they like to listen.
Is that true?
No, that's not true.
Man, I really bought that for a second.
No.
All right. So Craig Bierko, he's kind of our lead actor in this movie. I was surprised to see him. I'm always surprised when Craig Bierko shows up in something.
I know him from this.
This is all you know him from?
Probably.
He was like a sitcom guy in the 90s.
He's pretty funny.
Yeah, he is.
I liked it when he was like, his funniest part I thought was like him actually acting, I thought was when he has to like sing that rap pretty funnily. Is funnily a word? I sort of say that sometimes kind of as a joke, but not really as a joke. Like I kind of think it's real, but I don't know, I like it. But he does, you know what I'm talking about when he does it to his daughter, and I think he's pretty funny there.
I think he's funny throughout.
Me too.
He was a positive presence for me. The male leads of these movies have not been as good as the female leads.
Simon Rex, I thought, was good.
He's fine.
The third one, though. He was my MVP of the third one.
But Bierko, I'm happy to see him. He was, of course, that jazz player on Sex and the City. He was, of course, the other guy that's not Steven Weber in Larry David's Sour Grapes. Okay?
Okay, never saw it.
All right, he was, of course, the dude who created the fake The Bachelor in that show about The Bachelor, Unreal.
All right.
I'm a fan of Bierko. He's like, you forget he exists the second he's off screen. Then he shows up in something. You're like, hey, Bierko. Nice.
I think this is the only thing I've seen him in. But can I bring something up? This is, they kill Charlie Sheen at the very beginning, right? And then this guy gets introduced in the next scene. Charlie Sheen's name in these movies was Tom Logan, okay? And this guy, his name is Tom because he's ripping on Tom Cruise. So they have two guys named Tom in these movies. Like I thought that was interesting. You don't care about that?
No, that always bothers me. I'm surprised I didn't notice it.
Yeah. I always notice things like that. I think I have like OCD or something like that, or like some sort of like weird thing.
It's not OCD. It's some sort of weird. I mean, you definitely have something, Logan. You might have a touch of Asperger's.
I wish my parents took me to like doctors when I was little to get diagnosed with stuff.
I kind of feel the same way. I think I would have gotten some sort of autistic thing.
I think me too, 100%.
Yeah.
All
right, shout out to the diagnosed autisms and the undiagnosed out there. All right. So, they cover it really closely. Honestly, this is like the closest to what they're covering since the first one. Like, Scary Movie is just doing like lines and scenes from Scream, and this is doing that with War of the Worlds.
You're right. I said The Grudge, but that's not really fair. This does, like, The Grudge, we see the Grudge thing, and that's like they factor that into the plot of why he sends the aliens. But this is, first and foremost, War of the Worlds, 100%.
Yeah, the mom dropping off the kids, and then he wants to play
the Tim Robbins character.
When he plays baseball with the kid, and the girl goes like, that's not how you're going to get through to him. Like, that's just a line from War of the Worlds.
Yeah, you're right.
So I was into that. And then he goes off. There's, like, earthquakes happening. So it's like, what's going on? He walks outside. He runs past that dude who's, like, a mechanic. And he's like, I know how to fix that car. Check it out. Because that happens in War of the Worlds. And that's funny because I never thought that was lame in War of the Worlds until this moment when I was watching Scary Movie 4. And that's what a good spoof does, Logan.
Can I tell you another thing this does really good? One of my favorite jokes in this movie is when they're all freaking out and they're like, why do none of us have dryers in our house? Because they all have the clotheslines outside. And clothes going. That's so funny.
That was good. Yeah, there were a few more jokes that felt very Zuckery to me in this one. And I appreciate that. There was another one with Anna Faris early on where the camera like pans away from her and she like catches up with it.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But another Zuckery thing, I do not like the Leslie Nielsen UN stuff. I hate that. That's like one of my least favorite scary movies.
I don't like that either, but I do like when he calls the UN the UN.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, actually. And all the stupid cutaways to, like, maybe we'll talk about Brian Callen, but where they're just like, make some like reactions that we'll put into the movie, and he's like, what? And it's just so stupid. I hate that whole section of the movie.
There's a lot of dumb racist stuff in there too. Like they cut to like the delegate from Japan committing seppuku. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, But the most ridiculous thing's about to come, because what do you think they did in War of the Worlds? The main villains, of course, are aliens, and they drive around these giant things called tripods, Logan.
Mm-hmm.
So
So, and of course, in this one, iPod.
iPod. They're just giant iPods. I couldn't believe my eyes. And it was a first gen iPod too. So they
I'll
were.
tell you what, I didn't even remember they were called tripods until you just told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even remember that.
Really? Because they call them tripods a number of times in Scary Movie 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Okay. Let's see. What else we got in this movie? Hit
So
me.
much stuff. You're having
What's
problems?
next? What's next after the iPods show?
Well, we got from. I guess should we bring this up now? My review on Letterboxd was that this is the Infinity War of this franchise. This is where they bring in everybody. Like we bring in the Black Panther and we bring in the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think you need the Wayans brothers for it to be a real Infinity War.
That's fair. That's perfectly fair. But I made a list here. Like we have 10 Scary Movie cast members from the first 3 movies. Okay, we have Cindy and Brenda. Okay, we have Carmen Electra from the first movie, Chris Elliott from the second movie, and then all from the third movie. We have Charlie Sheen, Simon Rex, Anthony Edwards, Kevin Hart, Leslie Nielsen, and Michael Jackson. Does that count?
Sure.
So. We sort of skipped over the Brokeback Mountain segment. Do you
Oh, sure. We could talk about that. I was interested in that because Anna Faris is in that movie. I wondered how she thought of this scene.
Yeah, I actually forgot she was in that until you brought her up a little while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, it's a Kevin Hart and Anthony Anderson do a Brokeback homage. A lot of Kevin Hart's comedy is pretty homophobic, so I wondered how he felt about doing this scene. But I gotta admit, I laughed at it. Like, not all of it. Like, when he reached over and he was like, I'm just grabbing some nuts, and it was nuts. Like,
and then the other one, he's like, I'm grabbing some penis. And he's like, what? Peanut.
Turn it on, we're not gone!
So I expected a little
That's all.
more.
Well, I know one line from one of his songs.
Okay.
That's all. Well, what he was always changing up songs. Like, I'm gonna do like a slow, cool version of this. Didn't he do like a version of Soundgarden covering a song?
I don't know.
He did a cover of a cover.
I don't know about that.
Oh, of a Michael Jackson song, Billie Jean.
Yes, he did Billie Jean on American Idol.
Yeah, but the version of Billie Jean he did was just Soundgarden's version.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't know that because I was 10 at the time.
Yeah. Okay. So while all this is going on, Cindy is trapped in a parody of The Grudge, which is happening next door to the parody of War of the Worlds. Well, I thought that was interesting. She looks out the window at one point, and War of the Worlds is happening next door.
Right? Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Yeah. So I've only seen The Grudge once. And I didn't remember much about it.
I remembered one thing.
What?
There's a part where, well, I remember a few things, but there's one part where she's driving and she sees the reflection of The Grudge in the window. That's a thing that happens in The Grudge, and that scared me when I saw The Grudge. And when I saw this in Scary Movie, I was scared because I was like, "Oh, she's in the car. They're gonna do the scene from The Grudge," and then they fucking did it. And that's what I'm talking about in this, where they sort of handle some of those scenes pretty scary, like when she's in the house and she's walking around. Like it's kind of scary. I don't know.
What, when that Asian fella gets in the bathtub?
No, not that part. Like late at night when she's like when it ends with like she burns his hand, which is like pretty stupid. But before that, she's walking around and he walks down the stairs and he falls. He rolls into a ball, which is also stupid. But I don't know. I sort of.
Oh yeah, I kind of remember. Yeah, when he's up at the top of the steps, that's a little spooky.
Yeah, some of that's pretty scary.
Yeah. By the way, the scene where she looks out the window and sees War of the Worlds happening next door, I liked that moment too, because he's chopping wood, but he's chopping Duraflame logs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I didn't really understand that.
Now, for suburban people that don't chop wood, or like city people that have a fireplace in their rich mansion, we don't we don't have wood, Logan. We're not going out into the woods chopping our wood. We buy these thing called Duraflame logs, and it's a log wrapped in paper, and it's supposed to burn for a really long time. And so he's out back with an axe chopping Duraflames. I thought that was funny.
All right, I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Okay. All right, what happens next, Logan?
Oh my god! After that part,
Well, they fall in love, Anna Faris and Bierko.
Oh, we learn about her husband. We learn about how Simon Rex died. We learn $1 Million Baby.
Oh, right, it's a whole $1 million, and that's kind of funny when they're all breaking their necks.
Yeah, and I like the part where there's a big pile of ears where Mike Tyson's
I didn't
biting
like
off
that.
all-
Come on, every
You like
time we
that?
see Mike Tyson, we gotta do fucking biting the ear jokes. That was a sick, crazy thing he did. He bit somebody's ear off, Evander Holyfield. I mean, it'd be like if every movie we joked about the time he violently raped a girl.
Nobody talks about like OJ's rushing career. Everyone talks about the time he murdered people.
Well, come on. When you murder something, that supersedes everything. But, like, there's so much to make fun of with Mike Tyson. He's got a silly voice. He's got that dumb tattoo. He's,
Come on.
He's ripe for comedy.
Remember the time he
But
fell on one of those hoverboards?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
You
But
do
we
remember
only-
that?
Yes, I do.
Oh my god, I'm so glad.
But we only ever talk about him biting that ear off. I remember the night that happened, Logan.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, because my dad was excited about that fight, but like he didn't go to it we went to the movies that night, and then after he was like trying to find out what happened in that fight, and I remember like we heard like, oh, Mike Tyson ended up biting the dude's ear off. It's a wild thing to happen. It's not the expected outcome of that boxing match.
Who won the fight?
Well, I think Evander Holyfield won. He was winning, like in points, and then
Yeah, I don't really
Tyson
know.
was frustrated, so he bit his fucking ear, and
Yeah,
so
that's
they
what
they just ended the fight, and they were like, "Well, the one ear guy wins."
That's crazy shit.
Yeah. There was one moment in this where
Remember Kimbo Slice?
no, I know what I've heard that before. That's like one of those things like Damn Daniel, where I don't actually know what it is, but I've heard it.
Oh, he's a boxer
Kimbo
or like an MMA
Slice.
fighter or something, or MMA fighter or something like that.
I only know Conor McGregor.
One time he hit somebody so hard in the ear, their ear swelled up, and then he punched them again in the ear, and it popped their ear, and there was just blood all over their face.
Holy
It was like
shit.
one of the nastiest things I'd ever seen.
That happened to Roman Reigns.
He's dead
once
though.
by
R.I.P.
accident.
Kimbo Slice.
What?
Yeah, he died like 8 years ago or
How'd
something.
he die?
I don't know.
How come we didn't get a Kimbo Slice cameo in one of these movies?
There's a Kimbo Slice cameo in Drake and Josh Christmas movie.
That's great to know. All right.
And we could do those, I think, because there's a Drake and Josh Christmas and Drake and Josh Go Hollywood.
None of them came out in theaters. We're not covering that.
What?
You're such a jerk. You know, we could have a show.
So
on
Camp Rock? We can never do Camp Rock?
That's right.
What the fuck is this? That's the only reason I said yes to do this show. I was like, one day we can do Camp Rock.
We did High School Musical for you. Isn't that
What the
enough?
fuck? I guess the third one was a
Yeah, they
theater
put the
movie.
third one in theaters. That's why.
Sharpay. Was Sharpay in theaters? We'll talk about Sharpay later. Never mind. Let's not
We
talk
certainly
about Sharpay.
will talk about Sharpay later.
Yeah.
All right, so what's it called? Faris and that fella Bierko, they're falling in love, and
What'd you call her just now?
Faris? It's Faris. I know I fucked that
Holy
up. It's because
shit.
it's Anna. I always have to
Anna,
think about
yeah.
that. It's not Anna.
That took me a second to
Faris.
process. Yeah.
It's Anna Faris.
Run, Forrest.
Pretty good.
Don't they do that in what's that movie called? My brain just broke.
What, Forrest Gump?
No. The House Bunny. Isn't one of them like their legs are broken and then they start running and the legs break off and she starts
God.
running normally? Or their back brace? Something happens like that.
That
in the
rings
House
a
Bunny.
bell.
Somebody hit me up. Let me know I'm right.
Yeah, leave it in the comments. But they're talking and he goes, or she goes, we already finish each other's, and he goes, dinner. And this bothers me
Why?
because I believe the original iteration of this joke is from Arrested Development. Okay? They go, we finish each other's sandwiches.
Oh, okay, yeah, go on.
All right? And then they ripped off Arrested Development in the first Frozen.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh my god, D-Train. When I said that's what I was gonna say, I literally just said a Frozen line that I did not mean to say. I said that talking to you just now, but that's literally a Frozen line. That's what I was gonna say.
I mean, it's crazy.
What?
We finish each other's.
Sandwiches.
That's what I was gonna say.
I've never met someone.
So this is just like a less funny version of that.
Yeah, I agree.
That annoys me.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Hey, Zucker, you can't just watch Arrested Development and use a joke from it.
But Frozen hadn't come out. They hadn't like solidified this is the way to do it yet.
Sandwiches. It's always got to be sandwiches.
Yeah, we didn't know that yet.
Yeah.
They were testing things out still, 2006.
Dinner, everybody knows that the key to comedy is make it specific. So you don't say dinner, you say sandwiches.
I agree with you, 100%.
Yeah. Finish each other's pasta. That would have been funnier.
Still not as good.
Still not
Sandwiches
as
is the
good.
right one.
No, because sandwich
Because
is a funny
sentences.
word. It's a weird
and it's
word.
like sentences. Sandwiches, sentences, it sounds similar.
It's good stuff.
It's
Yeah,
good
you're right.
stuff.
You're right. You're totally right. That's why. It's the same amount of syllables.
Absolutely.
All right. So around this time, they all go off and do War of the Worlds. We get the scene where like his car is commandeered and this, someone pulls a gun at him and shit. All that. They do it. You know who pulls the gun is Fabulous.
I thought you were going to tell me Jonathan from Buffy. I thought you were going to say who that was.
No, man. You're incapable of recognizing that guy.
Anytime you say you know who that was, I automatically think it's Jonathan now.
No, it was Fabulous. Or
Okay.
Fabulous. No. He's one of our best misspelled rappers. Obviously, the number one is Ludacris.
I thought you were going to say RZA for the third week in a row. We were going to mention RZA.
The Razor. No, he's not. He doesn't appear in these. No Wu-Tang members in either of these movies.
Okay.
At one point, I thought I saw Ghostface Killer, to be honest, and then I looked it up, and it was a rap group called the Young Bloods, and I'd never even heard of them. I was like, we're getting cameos by rap artists I don't even know.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. Hey, I'll tell you one of my favorite moments in this movie does involve Leslie Nielsen.
Okay. The 9/11 thing?
Yeah, we get a parody. This is a wild thing to parody. We parody the moment that Bush hears about 9/11 in that little kid's class.
That is a wild moment that happened.
Yeah, and
He's just like, all right.
yeah, and the dude who tells him is Alonzo Bowden, who was one of the finalists on Last Comic Standing around this time.
Well,
Yeah, all right.
should have been JB Smoove.
He wasn't hosting yet. This was back when it was. God, I don't even remember who the original host of Last Comic Standing was. I guess we'll never know. I don't feel like googling anymore. Shit.
Did Gabriel Iglesias come from that show? Do you know who that is?
No, I mean maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think so.
He's in those haunted house movies, or at
He's
least one
Fluffy, of
them.
course I know. You should just say Fluffy. Everybody knows who you mean.
I forgot about that, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, the Fluffster. But anyway, we'll get to Cat Williams. All right. Lil Jon cameo. Are you excited about that? Yeah. Oh, that's a good joke. Lil Jon, of course, anytime he pops up in something, I've got to mention this. Came in 4th place twice on 2 different seasons of The Celebrity Apprentice.
Yep.
What
That's
a,
one of the things I know about him because of you.
and he should have gone further. He always got killed during those interview rounds. They were like, he doesn't want it hard enough. But I'm like, he's Lil Jon. He's just playing it cool because he is so cool.
He's like Amanda Kimmel with the jury questioning. He just
Exactly.
nails that home.
Honestly, yes. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the Amanda Kimmel of The Celebrity Apprentice.
That's tough. I had a thought the other day. Survivor Micronesia is the best Survivor season.
It's up there. It's definitely top 3.
I think it's the best one.
No, there's too many duds on the fan side.
I don't know. I don't think that's true. And
Come
I think that's a complaint for the second one. I think the first one's honestly really good.
No, it's definitely more of a complaint with Caramoan, but I mean, what, Tracy Wolf? I feel like all the fans were like,
She was like one of the hustlers early on. Come on.
I feel like all of them were like 40-year-old women with fake boobs.
That was like two of them. There was one that quit. They had Chet and Joel. You had Mikey, the guy with his girlfriend, who was like, and then you had Jason and Eric.
Who's
and then
Jason? Oh, Jason, right?
the stick.
Yeah.
And then you had the two in the Black Widow Brigade, Alexis
Natalie
and
Bolton.
Natalie.
And yeah, you're not wrong. I like all
I
those
didn't name
characters.
everybody, but it's a fucking great season.
That's a great season to survive. You've never seen season 16. I actually think that's one of, you know how Netflix always has like 2 seasons of Survivor up? I think that's one of them right now.
Go check it out, everybody.
Yeah, check
I genuinely
it out, gang.
believe that's the best.
I think it's that and Co Wrong. All right.
16 and 32, I think, right?
That's right. 16
Interesting.
apart. So around the time of the Little John cameo, Logan, we get Anna Faris runs into Brenda, and we get Brenda in this movie finally. Regina Hall, excited to see her. But here's something I thought was weird. It's the scene in War of the Worlds where a TV reporter shows Tom Cruise some footage. Why do I keep saying Tom Cruise? Oh, it is Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise some footage of like the tripods, and it's like, oh my god, there's not just one of them. They're like all over the place. You know what I'm talking about?
But yeah,
So you need a reporter,
Brenda.
but Anna Faris's character, Cindy Campbell, was a reporter in the last movie.
Really? Oh, you're right. Oh my god, she worked at the news station with fucking what's his face, Piven.
So why wouldn't they just
Because she had to take up the job at the house cleaning Cloris Leachman to.
But they
I don't
should have
know.
had that be Brenda.
So she gets introduced halfway through the movie, Anna Faris.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. That's a good point, though. I
Regina Hall can carry one of these motherfuckers.
That would be
This is
cool.
racist thinking.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so then
They
they
should have cut her
both...
pay in half. Say we'll give you $500,000 for half the movie, Anna Faris. What do you think about that?
She wouldn't have come back for that, you're right. But if they paid her $1 million to be in half the movie, she would have happily done that.
But they wouldn't have liked that. They would give their What would they pay Brenda then if she's in the whole movie? They would have to up her pay.
They gave her $500K. That's
did?
That's
They
black
actually-
and I don't know, but that was black and white prices back then. You give the black actors 50%
cents
of
on
what
the
the
dollar?
white. Yeah.
Jesus.
It's like it's like the 2/3 principle that was once in the Constitution. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then
That's a
they
question about Brenda.
please.
Why is she suddenly so horny in this movie?
Well, because she's finally not with a gay guy.
All
And
right,
she's
you answered my
discovering her
question.
sexuality.
You just answered my question. Great job.
All right, so then they go and hang out in the village for a while. From the movie The Village.
Yeah, I was like, what? Which village?
Yeah, just The Village. And basically all this did was remind me how awesome The Village was. Like there's that
See those creatures? I was like, whoa,
Yeah!
creatures.
when the fucking hand reaches through the door, I was like, oh, that's a shot from The Village. That shot's awesome.
Yeah. Did they like build? Did they like steal? Did they like take the creatures from the village? Did they build their own creatures? What happened? It's really cool. I thought I appreciated it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of this, it's like the reverse twist. They come in from the outside world at the beginning instead of leaving at the end.
Yeah, that's a great point. Well, they do send like I think the blind girl at the end, Carmen Electra, to go something like that. They send somebody off at the end.
We should have followed that storyline. Maybe she goes to shit in that convenience store.
On M. Night's desk, the one that he's doing his business from.
M. Night is running that convenience store in that movie? I didn't remember that.
Oh yeah, you never see his face, but you always hear his voice, and he's the one. And maybe you see his reflection, like there's a mirror set up where you see his face or something.
Yeah.
But it's definitely him.
Wow. M. Night. Always great for a cameo. Loved him on the news in one scene of Knock at the Cabin recently.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So whatever that goes on, and who's in the village stuff? Bill Pullman, which surprised me because he's in The Grudge.
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
Yeah, why didn't they just have him in The Grudge stuff?
Because Because you can't do that.
Why not?
No, that's too weird.
All right. Who else is in the Village stuff though? I feel like there were a lot of actors popping up in this.
Chris
Wasn't this where
Elliott.
Chris Elliott. Yeah.
Absolutely. Who else? I don't know. Probably some people.
All right, doesn't matter, I guess. But we go off. Who played the Bryce Dallas Howard? Was that Carmen Electra?
Yeah. Right? She's the blind girl.
Oh yeah, you're right. Is it, Bryce Dallas Howard is blind in that movie?
She's blind, yeah.
I guess I didn't remember that.
There was no Joaquin Phoenix character, though, right?
Yeah, why not? They should have gotten Bill Pullman, popped a hair lip on him. Now he's Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. Although, didn't Bill Pullman get stabbed, and isn't that how Joaquin Phoenix, doesn't he get stabbed? So they sort of flip the characters there.
They combine some characters.
Yeah, they do that in these movies.
Yeah. All right, so then it goes back to the War of the Worlds.
Wait, I got a joke I kind of like.
Oh, hit me.
They're at the council sort of discussing some stuff, and they're like, we're thinking about changing I am to I'm, and one's like, I'm for it, and the other one's like, I am against it. I sort of thought that was funny.
I don't think I got that. That's
That
funny.
got me.
It's a good bit. All right. We go to... I was waiting for this the whole movie. Once I realized, oh, this is parodying War of the Worlds, I'm like, who are they going to get to be the Tim Robbins character? Because that is the kookiest part of that movie. It's weird. If people don't like War of the Worlds, it's usually something to do with that part.
I don't like that part,
the
but I love
ending.
War of the Worlds.
See, that's what I hear a lot. I love that part, but...
It's not even that I don't like it, it's just the part I like the least.
All right. That part.
Did I say it like that?
No, that's just a hip hop thing. All right. But it's Michael Madsen.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about Michael Madsen. Not funny.
Okay. Yeah.
Like-
yeah.
Like, he's not a funny actor. And also, it's not funny to see Michael Madsen show up in a movie. Because he
Yeah.
shows up in a lot of movies.
Okay. I agree with you. But I did like the one part where like the guy's like, "Hey, follow me," and then he hits him over the head, and he's the way he says it's kind of funny. He's like, "Hey, follow me." And then he sort of takes his spot. I sort of enjoyed that part, but I agree with you.
I just feel like a lot could have been done with this. This was the most ripe for comedy thing in War of the Worlds, and they got like nothing out of it.
Well, they get the part out of it where the alien comes in and humps the vacuum cleaner,
I hated that.
and the part where what's the guy's name who played Tom Cruise, where he raps the
Craig
song,
Bierko.
and he's funny there.
Oh, that's right, because his daughter's asking for a lullaby.
She just gets hit a lot in this movie. That's her character.
They
basically.
love that in these movies. Every scary movie has like some kid getting knocked the shit out of.
Only the third and fourth one.
And the fifth.
Who's the kid in the fifth one?
The fucking kids in that Paranormal Activity.
Oh, you're fucking right. That's Mama, though. But yeah.
Oh, well, I never saw Mama, so I didn't get any of those
I was thinking
jokes.
about that watching this. I was like, D-Train's not gonna know this stuff.
Yeah.
That's fine though.
All right, so yeah, they're asking. She's asking for a lullaby, and it's he doesn't know any of them, so he raps for her.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I didn't know the song, I guess.
I don't remember what it was. I think I knew it at the time. All right, what else we got? Because my next note's about the end. Oh, they go up in that thing. Oh, there's all that stuff. Who's the alien? It's Saw. They go
Jigsaw.
right. I didn't really like any of that part.
So the reason that it all happened was like, so Jigsaw had a kid, and his kid was the kid from The Grudge, and he died at the fight where Cindy, the $1 Million Baby fight, right? Somebody fell on him. So it was kind of Cindy's fault, but he blamed humanity, and so he sent the War of the Worlds aliens. So it was like Jigsaw's doing, because he had a grudge.
It all makes
against-
sense.
Did you not get that? Or are you saying that I'm stupid for explaining it?
No, you're not stupid. You're explaining it correctly. It's just dumb.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to explain it because we're at the end.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that because I couldn't have been able. I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Okay. Well, this was like really the first time I was trying to pay attention to the plot so much. But yeah.
All right, so that all happens, and fucking
I have a
Brenda
couple
hooks up with
things-
Jigsaw.
Well, no, she hooks up with the other one, not Jigsaw. Zoltar, they call him, which I think was a big joke. No, just kidding. I don't know what that was.
That's Zoltan, isn't it?
No, I think pretty sure Zoltar.
Oh no, Zoltan is a thing from Dude, Where's My Car? Sorry about that.
Wow, Zoltan.
Yeah.
A few things though. Really just one thing. There's actually a joke in Saw there's a joke that they make in Saw that they play straight in this movie. Okay? There's a part in Saw where there's a heart on the toilet and he's like, follow your heart or something like that. And so the guy from Saw, Lee Winnell, he reaches into the toilet, like the toilet bowl.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's just shit in the toilet. And he's like, there's nothing in here. And he realizes he has to just do it in the tank. So he realizes, I didn't even have to get my hands dirty, you know? And in this one, there's a heart on the toilet. But then she just like reaches in and pulls out a piece of paper. Like they don't even play it as which I just thought was interesting as a Saw fan. Like a joke from one movie was played straight in a spoof movie.
It's also interesting because Scary Movie, you feel like they would take any chance they got to talk about shit, and they just skipped over it entirely at that moment.
Yeah, that it's just like the photos revealing that it's his kid or whatever it is. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Anyway.
All right, yeah. Saw. All right, and then it ends with Tom Cruise. Craig Bierko as Tom Cruise, like jumping on the couch on Oprah.
Yeah,
because we all liked that at the time.
You got to make the joke.
It was all right, yeah.
Yeah, you got to do it.
He did a good job. Bierko really throws himself into shit like this, and I appreciate that. I think he's my MVP.
All right, that's a good choice. Did you like the president ends up with a duck at the end?
No,
that was weird. I don't really need bestiality jokes. Like
I don't know why they kept bringing. Like he's reading a book about a duck when he hears about 9/11, and they kept bringing that back as a callback, and it wasn't funny like ever.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't think anything with him aside from the and maybe something else you said. But yeah, I didn't like any of the Nielsen stuff that much.
Yeah. All right. And then the movie ends, Logan. And here was my highlight. A POD song.
Okay.
Now, they were a Christian rap rock group at the time. POD stood for, of course, Payable on Death. You might know them from their classic hits, Alive or Youth of the Nation. Do you know either of those songs?
I don't think so.
All right. We are the youth of the nation. Horrible. They're one of the worst bands of all time, and I was so excited to hear them in this movie because they didn't put it in for any reason except that POD was popular at the time. Like, it's not a funny song. It has nothing to do with the movie. There's like, POD's popular now. Let's put one of their songs in the movie. And it ends with this song, and it is the most obnoxious, insane song. It's the chorus is literally him going, chiggy chiggy check, microphone check. And then he keeps saying like POD is the kings, which isn't even correct
Does
grammar.
anybody care about this? What's going on? The POD?
Listen, people that were around when POD was popular are interested in POD.
All right, you may know better than I do.
Son.
All right. By the way, we were wrong. The person doing narration is James Earl Jones because, of course, he gets hit by a bus at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. So he's doing more like they were like Morgan Freeman. Let's get the next most iconic voiceover guy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably first most because he does voiceover for Darth Vader. He's not in the suit, so everything's voiceover. I'd say he's number one.
Oh come on, but I'm
and
talking
he does
about
voiceover for Mufasa. Everything's
But I'm talking
voiceover
about
for this stuff.
narration, Logan. When you think of narration, don't you think of Morgan Freeman in March of the Penguins?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Classic. Hey, we could have covered Farce of the Penguins for Spoof Month.
There's a sequel to that?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, so you just lied. By the way, the first 4 movies end with a bus crash. Thought that was interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Bus
You're right.
crashes into a person
And they didn't continue it for
or
5.
a car. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know how I feel about that. Okay. What do you give this movie?
I'm giving it 2.
I'll give it a 2 also.
Wow. Can't believe it.
Who's your MVP?
If you can go with that one person, I'm gonna go with Anna Faris in this one. I thought that she
Fair
was
enough.
I thought she was pretty good in this one.
Listen, I'll tell you what. When you watch that Scary Movie 5 and Anna Faris isn't in it,
You feel it.
You miss the fuck out of her.
Did you say for the outtakes at the end?
Yeah, I did.
I can't imagine trying to act with Ashley Tisdale.
Yeah, she seems obnoxious.
And not just that, but like she seems like I really like Ashley. I grew up like really.
No,
well.
I like Ashley Tisdale too. She was one of my favorite parts in High School Musical. I used to watch this cheerleader show she was in called Hellcats. But
She's the one breaking in all the outtakes, by
Yeah.
the way. That's what I noticed. Was like Molly Shannon is crushing it in her comedy bits, and Ashley Tisdale just can't do it. And like I thought at every turn she was the one that was like couldn't hack it. But
Yeah.
not to bash on it, I really do love.
no,
Ashley Tisdale.
but you watch that movie and you're comparing her in your head to Anna Faris because it's clearly like this part was written for Anna Faris. And
I even sort of thought at the beginning, I don't know if they thought that this would be a thing I would think of, but when she's wearing that black wig because she's playing the mama character and then they take it off, I sort of thought that was like an Anna Faris thing, how she wears the black wig and then they take it off and make her blonde at some point. There's no way they meant that because that was just a mama thing probably, but I did think about that.
well, I read that they initially had Craig Bierko in the movie and then they cut him. So I assume it was going to be Anna Faris and Craig Bierko as the Ashley Tisdale Simon Rex roles,
Yeah.
and then
Well, the next movie makes no sense. We'll get into it, but like the
Okay.
characters make zero fucking sense in that movie.
yeah, who's your LVP in Scary Movie 4?
I'm gonna go Brian Callen.
Oh, that's a great.
It's my least
choice.
favorite part, and all he did was react, and I thought it was so fucking stupid.
He
I just
fucking
can't stand that guy.
sucks.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I've got a really clear LVP for 5. Let me see. 4. I'll give it to Dr. Phil.
Okay, I liked that he was able to bash himself.
You know what? I wish he'd bash himself right off the face of this planet, Logan.
Me too.
Yeah. All right,
But he did give us Bahad Bahabi.
oh yeah, we do. Yeah, and I of course follow her on OnlyFans.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my god, you're contributing to her being a fucking millionaire.
No. She has a free version.
Free version? What's she doing on that?
Less sexy shit, but still sexy.
Isn't that Instagram?
Yeah, pretty much.
What the fuck? I guess it's free.
Yeah. But I love Bahad Bahabi, of course. She's one of the greats. One of the all-time great pop artists of our time.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Cash me outside. What did she say?
Cash me outside, yeah.
Yeah, but isn't there more to it?
How about that?
Oh, cash me outside. How about that? Yeah, that's so good.
I'm surprised that's not like a damn Daniel that you don't really know about.
No, I was into that at the time.
Yeah, maybe because it's a woman, you pay more attention to it. Or she was a girl at the time. She was
No,
like
I
15
didn't find
years
her
old.
hot at the time. I just think it's weird that like she sort of like dyed her skin black now, and now she's like a sexy ethnic lady. Because on that
They all
show
do
she was
that.
just like some dumb white girl.
Ariana Grande had the same trajectory.
I know.
I
Pete
watched
Davidson-
Victorious. That's
Did you
just
see
like a
Pete
fucking.
Davidson rip on her, and he did a stand up, and he was like, "Listen, after that breakup, if I went and dyed my skin brown, you would have talked a lot of shit about me."
I feel like even before the breakup, she was like that. But like, if you watch Victorious, she's just like a normal white teenage girl,
Yeah.
and then she was brown for a while.
I know. She looks normal around the time of Problem and Bang Bang, but then once it became like Dangerous Woman, she's all brown.
And God is a woman. She was probably brown then too.
Yeah.
But I saw her in like an Instagram post. Like she seemed like back to what she used to be.
I hope so. I hope that trend of pretending to be other races when you're white goes away.
Once people make a lot of money, they become themselves again.
It's like a weird version of
Sometimes.
blackface that nobody talks about.
Yeah, the world's weird.
The world is weird. Gang.
Scary Movie 5?
Scary Movie 5. All right. We got a new director.
Yeah, who's up?
It's Malcolm D. Lee. But, here's what I read. Malcolm D. Lee had done this movie for Miramax called Soul Men, which is Bernie Mac's last movie. He died like right after making that, and so he had a relationship with Miramax. So they asked him to do this. He didn't really want to, but he got a good paycheck. Went off, did Scary Movie 4, and then I read that they brought in David Zucker to do reshoots. And according to the Wikipedia page of this film, people are saying 60% of the finished movie is from the reshoots. So even though Malcolm D.
Rogue
Lee,
One. I think
Did they do that with that?
I think so. I think there was a story like that with that movie.
so Malcolm D. Lee, even though he's the only credited director on this movie, only directed 40% of it.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
And he's like disowned the movie. He says in interviews, "Don't watch it. Don't even bother. It fucking
Maybe I'm thinking
sucks."
of Solo, actually, when Ron Howard came on.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, they filmed that with the Chris Miller and Phil Lord, and then
Yeah, I think I fucked it up.
yeah. All right.
Maybe both of them, actually.
I think that happened with Ant-Man too, right?
Yeah, because Edgar Wright got fired.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they made, though.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if he started filming yet.
Yeah, I actually don't think so. Or maybe
Alright,
not that much.
So Malcolm D. Lee, we've of course covered him on the show before because he is the mastermind behind one of my favorite franchises, the Best Man franchise.
Yeah, and this is the same year as that second one, 2013.
Yeah, I read that the reason he wasn't able to do the reshoots is because he was already working on Best Man Holiday.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he succeeded with either movie.
I think he got it. I'm giving him a 50% grade for this year.
All right.
Because this movie's a real piece of shit, but Best Man Holiday, boy. I'm into it.
Not me.
It's a good movie, man. What about all the stuff with Eddie Cibrian?
Who?
He's the white guy.
Oh yeah, Nia Long's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Nia Long. Sorry.
Nia.
Nia.
We were disappointed when he wasn't in Best Man: The Final Chapters.
You were. I didn't really give that.
All right, fuck off. All right. All right, so the script is credited to Pat Proft and David Zucker. So it's those boys from the last couple. Movie came out April 12th, 2013. That is the day before my mom turned 60.
Wow. 2 days before my first brother's birthday, 3 days after my second brother's birthday. I don't know if that made sense what I just said.
Wow.
They have birthdays very close.
April, that's interesting. So your parents, they like to fuck in July.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they did. They're not together anymore.
Yeah. For you, they fucked. It was a Christmas fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You too, probably, right? Or close around there.
Yeah, probably. My parents, they were just like, maybe a New Year fuck. Because, my parents are Jewish.
Wait, how does that work? You're born at the end of month 7. I'm born at the start of month 8.
Yeah.
Aren't they usually 9 months long pregnancies?
Oh, yeah, 9.
So it'd be November?
Yeah, you're right. Be more Thanksgiving fuck.
Thanksgiving fuck. That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's gross. You got all that turkey in you.
Yeah. Maybe like after the shopping, after Black Friday shopping.
After Thanksgiving, I like to turn to my girl. I'm like, hey, let's trip the fuck.
I don't think I understand that.
It's tryptophan. That's the stuff that makes you tired from turkey.
Have you ever really
No, I've never. It's just the joke I came up with right now.
You don't like that. I don't think you should ever do that.
Okay. If my girlfriend's listening, she can let me know. All right, so this $20 million budget, which is half what all the other ones cost. All right? So they didn't have any Ferris money in this one.
I call it forest money.
Thank you. All right, and but it made a lot of money. I mean, not a lot. It's the least successful of the scary movies.
100 million less than the last one. Exactly 100 million less.
Yeah, but still $78.4 million on a $20 million budget. They
I'd
made
say
some
success.
money on this fucking thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it only came in at number 89 at the box office between Steven Soderbergh's Side Effects and The Mortal Instruments, City of Bones.
Is that a franchise?
I don't know. Did they ever make any other ones other than the
There's
City
a
of
colon.
Bones?
I don't know.
It's clearly intended to be a franchise, but I feel like at this time they were just making a ton of Hunger Gameses, a ton of Twilights, you know?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
They were trying to capture that youth, the
I don't know.
tween market. Mortal Instruments. Hang on, I'm looking this up right now. City of Bones. Oh, there's one called City of Heavenly Fire? No, that's like an audiobook or something. So
Let's assume it's not a franchise. and
here's
let's
what they
never talk
did.
about it
No,
ever
no,
again.
here's what they did. I've got news for you, Logan. They didn't make it a franchise. The City of Bones didn't do well. So then they created a TV show, and that did the rest of the books. It's called Shadowhunters. It ran for 3 seasons
All right, that's pretty good. But
on
we can't cover it.
Freeform. No, we can't cover that. Unfortunately, I'd love to watch Shadowhunters.
You can watch it on your own. You don't need the podcast to
I
watch
feel
it.
like I'd need an excuse to get me to watch.
All right, somebody
Shadowhunters.
for Ham watching here. Somebody recommend him. What's it called? Shadowbone? What'd you say?
Shadowhunters,
Shadowhunters.
motherfucker. Hey, it's got that Asian kid from Glee.
All right,
Remember him?
sure.
Okay. Matthew Daddario. Is that Alexandra's brother?
I don't know. He's probably.
It
too
is!
much.
Yeah, oh my god.
Is he too much?
Is he too much?
She's too much. Is he too much?
She is too much. I'm looking at him right now. Nah. It looks better on a girl.
Yeah. Okay. That is actually her brother.
Yeah,
So is he a nepo baby?
I guess so.
Interesting.
Okay. He's a Nepo brother.
Nepo brother. Yeah.
Okay. This movie nominated for some Razzies. You
Yeah.
want to hear about that?
Of course I do.
All right. Worst remake or sequel. It did not win that award. The award went to The Lone Ranger.
Never saw that.
Me neither. Someone recommend that to me. I'd kind of watch that. I like that Army Hammer fella. I like the cut of his jib.
Yeah, he eats people. That's what you want to do.
Yeah. I look up to that. I like that, man.
Who made that? Did he produce that, Tim Burton?
No, I would have watched it if Tim Burton directed it.
You didn't know he
think
didn't
it's
direct it.
I think it's a Gore Verbinski joint. The
that sounds
Pirates
pretty-
fella.
Yeah, that sounds similar.
Yeah. Lindsay Lohan and Charlie Sheen. Now, they were nominated for Worst Screen Combo. Okay? But they lost to Jaden and Will Smith for After Earth.
I love that choice.
I love that choice, too. Great stuff.
Yeah, great job.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what. Lindsay also nominated for Worst Supporting Actress for both this and her appearance in Inappropriate Comedy. Now, that's a comedy with "app" in the title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've never seen it. But she lost to Kim Kardashian because Kim Kardashian was in a Tyler Perry movie that year called Temptation, Confessions of a Marriage Counselor. And I feel like I've got to watch that one because my favorite Tyler Perry movies are when he gets really serious. All right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I'd like that one.
He's in this movie, right?
I thought it was him. Like, no joke. We talk about Scary Movie, like casting good impressionists. I literally thought that was Tyler Perry reprising the role of Medea in Scary Movie 5, and it wasn't.
No, couldn't get him.
Some other guy. All right. So, Spike and Tyler were feuding around this time, you know, because Spike said that Tyler Perry's movies were like minstrel shows or something.
Really?
Yeah. And so Malcolm D. Lee, the director of this movie, a.k.a. the cousin of Spike Lee, certainly was not going to hire
No.
Tyler.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the movie.
Yeah. Great movie.
Not a great... This is the worst of the franchise.
Yeah.
Like, as bad as 2 and 3 were last week, this was a nightmare. By the way, I checked the time.
This is the first one I felt the runtime.
I felt the runtime so much.
It's crazy.
I checked it 3 times in the first half hour of the movie because I was kind of tired. And then I was like, I think I got a nap. It was like 7 p.m. and it was like I was so bored of the movie that I literally napped for like a half hour and then finished the movie.
It's funny.
Yeah. It opens with my man Sheen, and he's like tricking Lindsay Lohan into making a sex tape with him.
Can we bring this up?
Yeah.
Like right off the bat, like Charlie Sheen and Simon Rex are brothers again in this movie. But they're not the same characters that they were. Charlie Sheen is Charlie Sheen, and Simon Rex plays a guy named, your favorite name, Dan. He plays a guy named Dan. But they're brothers. He dies at the beginning, and it's like the setup for Mama. It's like your brother died, and he had these kids, and now you have to take care of the kids. So they confirm that they are brothers, but they're not the same characters.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
one of the weirdest things I'd ever seen.
That is weird. I didn't even think about it.
Oh, it's crazy, yeah.
So is Simon Rex's character Dan Sheen?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because at one
Or
point,
no, Dan Estevez.
but at one point, do you remember that scene where you think it's Charlie Sheen's boner, but then it turns out to be his cat,
Yes, Emilio the cat.
and he calls his cat Emilio?
Absolutely.
So who's his brother? Who's his real brother? Dan Sheen or his cat Emilio?
His cat Emilio is his cat, not his brother.
But why did he name his cat after his brother?
But not in real life. It's just for us.
It's just for us to go like, oh yeah, his brother's Emilio Estevez.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't
But
like
his
that.
real brother's Dan Sheen. I think you are right that that's his name. I didn't think about that.
Ridiculous.
But Dan Sheen.
All right. So yeah, they get killed, I guess. Sheen and Lohan. Sheen's looking worse in this movie.
Well, no, he gets killed, and they say Lindsay Lohan got arrested out of
right.
just because they felt like it or whatever.
Yeah, out of habit.
Out of
because they
habit,
arrested her
yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the habit. But what's it called?
Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. We got to cover that.
Yeah.
So there's a Paranormal Activity riff, which sets up the rest of the movie. Is basically Paranormal Activity and Mama.
Yep.
And
Well, Black Swan, a lot of Black Swan.
yeah, a lot of Black Swan too. And they play yakety sax during this scene.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes, a lot of that too.
That's true. Were you excited about yakety sax?
What is that? What are you talking about?
You know that song?
Oh, when they're running around doing like
Yeah,
the circus sex.
That's yakety sax.
I didn't really catch that.
Yeah. All right. What else is going on in this movie? Help me out.
They died, and then we get the setup for Mama. Snoop Dogg and Mac Miller are walking through the woods.
All right. That was Mama? I didn't know what that was.
What? Which part?
The Snoop Dogg and Mac Miller stuff.
They find a cabin in the woods, and those girls in the house is
I thought it
Mama.
was Cabin in the Woods.
Well, it is. I'm saying that the girls, they find the girls, and the girls are Mama. That's
Oh.
Mama.
I didn't realize that.
What are you talking about? What do you think Mama is?
I've never seen it. I don't know.
You don't know anything about it.
I know Jessica Chastain is in it.
Okay, so Jessica Chastain is like married to another guy from Game of Thrones. I don't know who he is. Wait, not Jessica Chastain. It's somebody else.
It's Chastain.
Oh, yeah, it is
I'm right
Chastain.
about
It's
this.
Chastain. You're right. Sorry. She's married to a guy from Game of Thrones, and he has a brother or somebody that died, and he has to inherit.
Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
Yeah, the guy from not Pretty Woman. What's that movie called?
Pretty woman.
What's that movie called with Leslie Mann and Brooklyn Decker or Kate Upton, not Brooklyn Decker, and somebody else.
I don't know.
The other woman.
Oh, the other. I've never seen that either.
He's the sexy guy in that movie. Anyway, so they inherit these kids, and the kids are real spooky, and they lived in the woods for a few years, and so they've talked to this creature, Mama. And so everything with Ashley Tisdale and those girls, that's Mama. You know what that was? What do you think
No.
that was?
I didn't even realize it was Mama until like halfway through the movie. They kept saying the word Mama, so I was like, oh, it must have been that movie Mama.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I was lost. I was just enjoying the sight of Mac Miller alive again.
Surprised no reference to Lost. That was pretty big between 4 and 5, right?
Not a single Lost reference in any scary movie. That really gets my.
They could have just
goat.
had like somebody turns around, they have the orange in their mouth.
That's the only thing you know about Lost.
They go into a
You
gas
know-
station, someone's like 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. and
That
they
is
read off all
weird that
the things.
you'd know the exact numbers.
That's
You know
it. I got it right that time.
Yeah. You know the
Yes.
numbers, you know the orange, and you know that there's a hatch. Those are the things you know about
The
Lost.
smoke monster.
And the smoke monster.
Yeah, that's basically it.
That was the only thing my girl. I started watching it with Dallas, and
And I know the
and that was the one thing she was like, "There's a smoke monster at some point." I was like, "Yeah,
yeah.
no, all right." What do we got? Sharpay and Red Rocket. They got some spooky kids.
Sharpay and Red Rocket.
Yeah, and Simon. What did I write here? Simon Rex is Franco in Rich.
Yes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, Rise. That's what I wrote.
Yes, he was that character.
Can't read my
Absolutely.
handwriting here. Yeah.
And Terry Crews comes in, and they're like monkeys. Like they have a lot in common with you and me because we're human. We're evolution, not because you're black.
Right.
They do that stuff.
Terry Crews is sort of playing the David Oyelowo character. for that
Absolutely.
movie. Yeah. All right. So Mac Miller, he's alive.
Can I tell you my favorite joke in the movie?
What? Come on.
It involves Mac Miller. That's why I'm bringing it
okay.
up. Because I don't know. It's the part where Mac Miller and Snoop Dogg's like, what did they say? And Mac Miller's like, it said it wants to bite your foot. And then it bites his foot. And I think that's funny because that reveals that Mac Miller can communicate with them, but nobody else really can.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is an interesting reveal. I really like that. That's one of my favorite parts of the whole movie.
Well,
There's not a lot to hold on to, D-Train.
he's a Jewish rapper. Died of that fentanyl. Bummer.
I loved him. I was a big fan.
Were you?
Oh, yeah. I loved him.
I gotta tell you, I didn't know him until he died.
Yeah, I really like him.
Wow. What's the best Mac Miller song?
Oh, I'm terrible with song titles. I couldn't tell you.
All right. Big fan, doesn't know a single song title.
I remember Missed Calls was a big one I used to do a lot of the time.
All right.
Oh, Objects in the Mirror. That's a good one.
Wow. That one sounds deep.
Wait, listen to that one.
All right, so he's hanging out with Snoop. And I gotta tell you, this is 10 years ago, this movie. And we just saw Snoop Dogg at WrestleMania. He has aged a lot in those 10 years.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really see him, but yeah.
All right. So they're... Whatever. What happens next?
I don't know. Knock Knock, one of my favorite Mac Millers. Best Day Ever, another great Mac Miller one.
They should have parodied Knock Knock in this movie. That movie with Keanu Reeves.
Hey, we'll get to what I'm doing at the end. What'd you ask me just now?
What happens next?
Oh shit, I don't know. They basically say you can take the kids home if you live in the Paranormal Activity 2 house. You get all these cameras, you have to live here.
Right.
That's the only way you can have custody of them. And Ashley Tisdale, I guess we'll call her Sharpay. She's like, I don't fucking want these kids. I just want to live my life with Red Rocket. And he's like, no, I gotta take care of them. They're my nieces. And so they bring them home, right? And can I bring up one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever seen in a movie?
Please.
The girl, there's like, she's eating a popsicle, and Red Rocket's like, no, honey, it's the wrong side, and she.
Oh my God.
Obviously, instead of flipping the popsicle upside down, what does she do? She shoves it up her butt, and then she makes like a face, and then she sniffs it and passes out. It's just one of the most horrific things I've seen.
I also don't want to think about little kids shoving things up their butts.
Yeah, I don't either, but we have to in this movie.
Yeah, we really do. You're forced to.
Yeah.
All right. What we got? There's a Real Housewife cameo.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize any of them except Big Ange.
You know all the girls at the last movie that Charlie Sheen was sleeping with?
Well, they were the girls next door. I was interested in that more. But I never watched The Real Housewives. I know a few of them from their appearances on The Celebrity Apprentice or Celebrity Big Brother, but I never watched any of it. I just know Big Ange because they talked about her a lot on The Soup.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so then they get into the Black Swan stuff because Sharpay's a ballet dancer in this movie. And I kind of thought that's the best part of the movie, only because they made an effort to make it look like Darren Aronofsky, so they shot that part like on film.
Yeah. They do some like weird like editing parts. And I actually went and watched a part of Black Swan because they played with an editing thing. They don't even do it really in Black Swan. There's like a part where she's walking into the building and it cuts from her walking to then her walking from a different angle and then walking, and then she like starts walking backwards and it starts playing with it funny. And I looked it up. I was like, what exactly are they ripping on? Like, what inspiration did they get from this? And I looked it up, and it shows her walking, and then it shows her it's like the same shot, but then her just like walking in a different location, and then it just does that one time. That's all it does. Maybe I missed something and it does it again later in the movie, but from what I gather from the scene I thought they were ripping off, it did it once and they made like a huge deal out of it. But I appreciated it. I agree with you.
I like that Aronofsky, he does that thing where he shoots from behind everybody's back like it's a third person shooter, and this did that, so I appreciated it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
All right, so the Black Swan parody, it's got Heather Locklear in it. I couldn't believe I was looking at Heather Locklear in a 2013 movie.
You know what I know her from?
Melrose Place?
No, Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Oh, God. I thought you were going to say Modern Family. She popped up on there.
Who? As the mom of what's-her-face?
Of Julie Bowen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty good.
I mean, what even happened here?
I got something.
Is there... What? Yeah, go ahead.
Usher shows up. All right.
Oh, yeah.
And I bring this up because he plays a character named Ira, and I bring that up because that's the name of Willow's father from Buffy, Ira Rosenberg.
And I told you that's a classic Jewish name.
I thought it was a woman's name. I was very embarrassed.
And so Usher now playing a Jew in this movie, I guess.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
You talk about Cat Williams? You want to talk about him, I guess.
He's my LVP.
Yeah, you don't like him?
I just think Cat Williams is really unfunny in real life. Like, you watch his stand-up set, it's not even jokes. It's just him saying things in what are supposed to be funny ways. I don't know. Your mileage may vary. Some people think he's a great comedian. I've always hated Cat Williams. I thought he was, like, deeply unfunny in this movie. That whole scene was, like, obnoxious and hard to watch for me.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't even think I didn't even write down MVP, LVP, or anything like that for this movie. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, I didn't like him either that much. I agree.
We do an Inception bit.
Yeah, and the guy was good. We talked about it.
Yeah.
It's a really long time, right? So like a weird section of the movie where we just like do Inception for a while.
Yeah, and it's weird because we go into her head and we get a parody of 50 Shades of Grey. But that hadn't even been made yet.
Are you serious?
That came out in 2015. So this is a parody of the book 50 Shades of Grey. So listen to me. Jerry O'Connell plays Christian Grey in this part of the movie. He's the first actor ever in a movie to play this character.
Yeah, that's amazing. By the way, I brought up last week we had Anthony Anderson, Jenny McCarthy, and Tori Spelling add Jerry O'Connell to the Screamcast list, right?
That's true. Derek.
Absolutely.
I think I love you, so what am I so afraid of?
Afraid of loving you. That's a great part. Great part of the movie.
Isn't giving your Greek letters to someone kind of not cool? Big no.
And then watch our commentary where I learned for the first time that she's wearing those Greek letters throughout all of Scream 3. I never realized that before.
That's right, man. A tribute to her dead boyfriend, Derek. Mm-hmm. Okay. What else? You got a Honey Boo Boo joke?
Yep.
We excited about that?
No.
You know, I read that they had to change that joke because Honey Boo Boo was only a thing in America.
Really?
Yeah. So they used
like
different reality things in other countries. Like I read that in the UK they changed it to an "I'm a celebrity, get me out of here" joke because that was a big show.
Okay.
That was like Survivor, but with celebrities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I bring something up?
Yeah.
The vacuums, the pool vacuums, having sex with each other.
Yeah. I like the idea of that bit, but it was bad.
This is something that they do in these movies. A lot of characters have sex with vacuums, okay? We have the vacuums that have sex with each other. The vacuum has sex with a dog in this movie. A vacuum has sex with the maid in this movie. Doofy in the first movie has sex with a vacuum cleaner.
That's right. You
obviously.
asked me if I'd ever done it.
Yeah, what was your answer? Yes,
no,
right?
no, I've never done it.
Yeah, you said yes. And then in Scary Movie 4, the last movie, that alien comes in and has sex with the vacuum cleaner. So I don't know why they love to do this, but we've had like 5-6 instances where there's vacuum cleaners.
It's almost like boning a vacuum cleaner is a motif in these films.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah, it's odd. It's a good point. All right. We get a parody of the scene, the lesbian sex scene. From Black Swan.
Wait. We have to go
Why?
back.
Why?
I'm sorry.
Why?
Back to the Inception part, because the person playing Marion Cotillard, right? This is Kate Walsh, right?
Yeah, from Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, you know her from Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah,
you know where
Dr.
I know her from?
Dr. Addison. Yeah, what?
Do you want to guess?
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
13 Reasons
Ah!
Why. She plays Hannah Baker's mom. She's a very significant character.
The one who killed herself?
Yep, she's her mom.
I'll tell you what, if Kate Walsh was my mom, I wouldn't kill myself. I'd simply try to bone my mom.
Maybe that's why you gotta kill yourself, because you
Maybe.
realize it's out of the cards.
Yeah. All right. She's also in that first season of the Fargo TV show.
Really?
Yeah, she's a good actress. I like Kate Walsh.
I do too.
So can I talk about the lesbian sex scene?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So it's Sharpay and this black girl who's in all the Black Swan stuff. I found her like aggressively unfunny.
Okay. I didn't really think either way.
I don't know. It must have been written for Brenda, like for Regina Hall, and then they couldn't get her.
They would get Regina Hall with Ashley Tisdale?
No, I think it was probably supposed to be Anna Faris as Ashley Tisdale and Regina Hall as this character. And then they recast it.
Yeah.
All right, so they make love, Logan, and
Yeah.
they play a song in the background. I don't know if you were paying attention, but it was like an "I Kissed a Girl" sound alike.
No.
Like they got somebody to just do like a version of the Katy Perry song that just sort of sounds like it.
Mhm.
And then you get, I don't know if you saw this because I watched the unrated version of
Wow.
Logan. It was the only version I could find, and I read that some of this was cut out, but there's a bunch of people eating her pussy in this scene.
Yeah, no, I saw this.
Okay, for
Ted?
some of my favorites include Ted, the doll from Ted. The Dos
Say
Equis
he's a
guy.
bear, not a doll.
All right, whatever. He's not a bear. He's a stuffed bear.
He's more bear than a doll.
Fuck off. All right, then you got the Dos Equis guy.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was weird. Then there's a fake Tiger Woods, and they make a joke about how much he was cheating on his wife around this time.
Yeah.
His wife chases him right off screen.
Again? That's happened again?
Yeah. And then you got a fake Leonardo DiCaprio for the second time in this movie.
Crazy.
Doing Titanic, I'm the king of the world.
By the way, like the third Titanic reference in Scary Movie movies.
You're right! Oh
That's
my
so
god!
many.
Yeah, there was one in...
Keenan Wayans, remember, was Amistad
Yeah.
Titanic. And then we had the, like, she's jerking him off in the freezer, like, you're gonna die warm alone in your
Right.
bed in the second one. So, another
Now in
Titanic.
2013, 16 years after the release of Titanic, we're still making Titanic jokes.
Yeah, it's huge. One of
At
the biggest
least-
movies ever.
Hey, show me a Navi plugging into this girl's pussy.
Hey, get ready for my pitch next. We'll get to the...
Oh,
Nah, just
I'm
kidding.
excited.
Navi didn't. I only do scary movies. Actual scary movies. Horror
Yeah,
films.
Yeah, getting that Navi, am I right? All right. So then what is this stuff with the freaky Christian? It's like an Evil Dead parody, but Evil Dead was released. The remake
Yeah.
was released 1 week before Scary Movie 5. So I read that all of the stuff they're ripping on is in the trailer.
I noticed that. Yep. There's a part where she puts her head up through the cellar and she's like, da, ba, ba, and she does like some nursery rhyme, and there's a joke where like her stomps on her, but and her tongue comes off. But that is a
I
thing
hated that.
Yeah, it's dumb. But that's a thing that I always noticed because that was in the trailer for that movie, and that is not in that actual movie. I think.
Oh.
Because I saw that trailer, and I was like so in the movies at the time, and I was like 15 years old, and I was like, man, this looks fucking scary. And I like watched the other ones to like prepare for it, and I was so excited. And then I watched that movie, and it's not in the movie, so I always remember that. So you're right. This is a lot of the trailer stuff.
Yeah. Did you recognize any of these great actors?
Of course,
I was excited to see Lil Bow Wow.
all of them. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, who's the white guy? I
Tyler
recognize-
Posey.
Who's that?
He's the he's Teen Wolf.
Oh, that was Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf. He's Teen Wolf.
Wow.
You covered him, right? Didn't you watch an episode or something? Of that
I
show?
did. I watched the pilot. Yeah, I don't remember though.
Yeah.
But I saw Lil Bow Wow. Always excited to see him. And you know, he beat Shaq. Oh wait, no, isn't that Aaron Carter? That's how I beat Shaq.
I don't
Never
know.
mind. Okay. And Sarah Hyland from Modern Family, who's obvious
from Bumper in Berlin.
from Bumper in Berlin, who in real life is of course
Those are my
married
favorite episodes we ever did.
to the bartender Wells from Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah, always love to see him.
And she hosts what's that show we like?
What?
X on the Beach? No, what's that show we like? Love Island.
hosts
Love
the
Island.
show?
Love Island.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they fucking replaced Ariel Vandenberg with her in the most recent season of
And
Love
she's
Island
not
US.
good, guys.
She
She is
sucks.
not a
Yeah,
good
she's
host.
bad at it.
Yep.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's a shame. They should get Wells, make it a double act.
Yeah.
Her and Wells.
No, they would get so much hate for that. The show would get shut down.
You think so?
If they replace her with her husband, well,
No,
yeah.
no. I'm saying bring them both on. They'll have
Oh.
sweet chemistry together. They're in love. It's
Yeah,
Love
that'd be good.
Island. Yeah.
That would be good, actually.
But maybe he's like got a contract with ABC. He can't fuck with Peacock.
I don't know how that would work. A streaming service with like a cable network.
Yeah. They got to get him on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever. The movie ends.
No. I got something.
All right, good.
That was crazy to me that I kind of liked. There's a part where they're driving to go somewhere, and there's just like a little RC car that's driving, and you hear the dialogue like they're in the car, and you're just like, what the fuck is this? And then they do
Yeah.
it again, and I sort of like that. I was into that.
That was cute. It's like an overhead shot of a car driving on like a long road, which you see in movies all the time, but they just shot an RC car.
Yeah, I thought it was very funny.
And at one point, the narration is like, wait, we lost the car. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought and then at the end of the movie, you get bloopies. I was very excited about that.
By the way, something to call back to the beginning. At the beginning, whenever they were like, "Hey, we'll sell these kids to like because they're wanted, and we'll get the money we'll collect the money, and then we'll buy a shark." And then at the end, Mama falls off the cliff, lands in their boat, and their shark that they have eats her, and they're like, "Oh, great callback."
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Oh yeah, well, I'm much more observant.
Well, I took a nap,
Yeah.
after that moment, but before this, yeah.
That'd be tough to remember.
So I hated this movie a lot, and I thought the Paranormal Activity stuff in particular was insanely boring.
Yeah,
Like, people rip on those Paranormal Activity movies for being boring. No, this is boring.
yeah, I agree.
I give it a 1.
Me too.
My MVP, for heaven's sake, I'll go with that Leo guy, the Leonardo DiCaprio impersonator.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I didn't write anything down for this. I didn't even like Simon. All this, he was too stupid. Simon
I
Rex.
know.
He was way too dumb. I kind of agree. He did a really good Leo impression.
Yeah,
What else stands out as like good?
I don't know. Like, Mac Miller and Snoop Dogg were fine.
Yeah, Check on Mac Miller. I liked the part where he understood the little girl that she was gonna bite him.
Sure.
I'll go Mac Miller.
R.I.P. Mac Miller. We'll give him an in memoriam MVP for this
I had a tweet
film.
about him a few days before I even watched this movie. I didn't even remember he was in this movie, and I tweeted like, "I just remembered Mac Miller died," and then I watched this movie like a couple days later. It's crazy, but yeah, MVP Mac Miller.
That earned a tweet.
Yeah, shout out to Mac Miller.
All right. Who's your LVP?
I didn't write anybody down. Who do you got? Tisdale?
No, I'm going Cat Williams.
Who else? Who else cameos? Who else like shows up for a little bit, leaves?
The Housewives, the Dos Equis guy, Jerry O'Connell, I don't know. Lindsay Lohan.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Sarah Hyland. No, just
What?
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know who to go LVP.
Maybe LVP of the most recent season of Love Island US. By the way, Sydney and Isaiah still together. So happy.
I'm gonna go Tisdale. I thought she's never funny.
Tisdale kind of sucks, man.
I never laughed at it.
And
She's just like the straight man. I don't know.
And
why.
she stands out as being bad because she's the Anna Faris of the movie. And
Anna Faris is
so
funny
good.
though.
Yeah, she's so
Tisdale's
funny.
never funny.
Yeah.